Okay, let's dive in. We've got a really fascinating stack of source material today shared by you, our listener. It's basically a summary of 20 cheat codes for success.
Yeah, and they come from someone with just this incredible life story.
Absolutely. I mean, from homelessness to being a monk, then graduating MIT and becoming a multi-millionaire entrepreneur, it's quite a journey.
It really is. This isn't just theory pulled from a book. It's, lived experience from some pretty extreme situations.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack these 20 principles. We want to dig deeper than just a list, really pull out the core insights, maybe some surprising wisdom from this unconventional path to success and happiness.
And what's interesting is how broad they are, right? It covers everything. Finance, career, sure, but also relationships, personal well-being. It's kind of a whole life approach.
Delivered with some pretty blunt honesty, too.
Yeah.
Some of these might really challenge what you've always heard. So as we go through, think about which ones resonate, maybe which ones push back against your own ideas, or which feel, immediately useful. Let's start with the first one. A financial principle, the source says, gets misunderstood a lot.
Okay, cheat code number 1. Saving is not investing.
Right.
The source is super clear here. Saving money, like putting it in a savings account, essential. You need it for short-term stuff, emergencies, absolutely. But it's not the path to building significant long-term wealth. Investing is.
And the core reason is that compounding effect,
Yeah.
right? That snowball idea.
Exactly. It's the power of compound growth. When you invest, your money starts making money for you. The source gives this great example. Investing, say, $5,000 a year in something like an S&P 500 index fund. Starting in your 20s, by the time you hit your 60s, that could potentially grow to, $1.4 million.
Wow, yeah. That's not just saving, that's making your money work.
It's putting it to work, letting compounding do its thing.
Wow.
And a really crucial point the source makes, learned the hard way apparently, is the behavioral side.
Like during the 2008 crisis?
Exactly. They panicked, pulled their money out, missed the recovery, and they calculated that if they'd just stayed put, done nothing, their net worth today would be 40% higher.
40%.
Yeah.
Just from not panicking. Okay, so the takeaway is simple, but maybe not easy. Put money in a low-cost index fund.
Right.
And then the biggest rule, stay in, don't touch it. That's investing, not just saving.
That's the fundamental difference. It's a mindset shift you need for the long haul.
Okay, shifting gears completely now. Cheat code number 2. This one might stir things up a bit. Stop following your passion.
Yeah, this definitely goes against the grain, doesn't it? Against all that graduation speech advice.
Totally.
But the argument here is that the common wisdom might be backward. Passion doesn't automatically lead to success. Often, it's actually success that fuels the passion.
Interesting.
They mentioned this Canadian university study found only a tiny fraction, like 4% of students could actually figure out how to make money from what their passion was.
Right, because common passions, art, music, photography, they're wonderful, but often tough to pay the bills with, for most people anyway.
Exactly. So the principle is focus on building skills. Skills the market values. Get really, really good at something.
And the passion follows the mastery.
That's the idea. Get competent, become excellent, build value, and then the passion, the enjoyment, often comes from that. The quote sums it up. Passion doesn't lead to success, it works the other way around. Build value first.
Okay, that makes sense. And building on getting good at something. Cheat code 3 is pretty straightforward. Secrets to success. Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, no shortcuts here. It hammers home that excellence isn't just raw talent. It's persistence. It's dedicated work.
Like the examples used Taylor Swift, Kobe Bryant. Talented, sure, but known for just relentless practice.
Absolutely. And there's that story about the Berklee School of Music students practicing 8-10 hours a day, even the really hard, painful stuff. The source actually calls their own superpower the ability to just do deep, focused work without getting distracted.
That focus is the engine.
Right. The analogy they use is great. Banking on talent alone is like having a Ferrari with no engine.
Yeah, looks good, goes nowhere.
Exactly. A talent needs the practice engine. It really makes you think, okay, what monetizable skill am I willing to put those hours into?
That focus on skills ties right into cheat code 4. Treat your career like an investment portfolio.
Yeah, viewing your career not just as a job, but as something that compounds. You're building a portfolio of skills, experiences, connections over time.
So even those early jobs, the ones that maybe felt like grunt work or you had a tough boss.
Exactly. Even if you felt mistreated or micromanaged, those are chances to learn, to add to that portfolio. The source talks about their own first job, right?
Yep.
Help desk, yeah.
Working crazy hours, weekends.
Insane hours, like 14, 15 hours a day sometimes. But they weren't just fixing things, they were absorbing everything.
Wow.
Tech, problem solving, business people. They estimated like 15,000 hours over 5 years in that role. And they credit that deep dive, that foundation, with paving the way to later promotions, eventually becoming CEO.
So the core idea is offer more value, learn more, be more valuable, and then you can earn more. It compounds.
Precisely. Just like a financial investment grows, so does your career capital if you nurture it.
Okay, so if you're building that portfolio, Cheat Code 5 has some practical advice. Move where the opportunities are.
Location, 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 right. It still matters, especially early on. The source actually mentions regrets moving to NYC too late, not going to San Francisco back in the early 2000s tech boom.
So it's about being physically present where the action is for your industry.
Yeah, and not just for the job listings. The argument is that even with remote work being huge, in-person collaboration offers something different. You build skills differently, network differently.
Like learning to solve problems face-to-face, handle conflicts in real time.
Exactly. That kind of stuff. Being in the office, seeing how things really work, observing senior people. Remote work doesn't always teach that as effectively. You want exposure.
Be where the action is, where you can soak things up directly. Makes sense. All right, let's talk about structuring the rewards from that career portfolio. Cheat Code 6. Understand the difference between equity and salary.
This is a big one. The source argues the top 1% focus on equity, not just a high salary. Here's that quote.
Oh yeah, the furniture one. Salary buys you furniture, equity buys your future.
That's it. Salary is predictable income for now. Equity, though, that offers potentially unlimited upside. It changes your mindset, too. You're an owner, not just an employee.
Your incentives are aligned with the company's success.
Totally. And the source is honest. They said they struck out on equity deals multiple times. But it only took that one big win, that rainmaking event, to completely change their financial life.
So one provides stability, the other provides potential for massive growth. Different tools for different goals.
Exactly.
Okay, back to accelerating growth. Cheat Code 7. Humble yourself and get a mentor.
Mentors are positioned as like essential guides, people who've been there, done that, and can shorten your learning curve dramatically.
The source mentions regretting waiting until their 40s to really seek out mentors.
Yeah, deep regret. Said their career just took off after finding the right mentors. Went from that point to CEO in about 10 years. They call mentors the ultimate cheat code for the game of life.
Strong words. And the advice is specific, not necessarily paid coaches, but true mentors invested in you.
Right. Find people genuinely interested in your success. They mentioned the book $1 Trillion Coach as a good resource on this. Find real mentors.
Got it. Okay. Switching back to financial stability. Cheat Code 8 is a fundamental. Have an emergency fund.
Non-negotiable. Saving up 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses.
And the reason is starkly illustrated by that story the source shared.
Yeah, the friend in his mid-40s, diagnosed out of the blue with a brain tumor. It's just a powerful reminder that unexpected, life-altering things happen. Job loss, medical issues.
This can happen to anyone.
Anyone. So that fund is your safety net. It stops one crisis from becoming a total financial catastrophe. And the rule is firm. It's only for real emergencies.
Not for a vacation fund.
Definitely not. Purely a safety net.
And to manage money well enough to build that fund, Cheat Code 9 gives us a system. Form your own FBI, Financial Bureau of Investigation.
I like that framing, the FBI. It makes it sound serious, which it is. It's about tracking where your money actually goes, because you can't control it if you don't know, right?
Makes sense. So the 4 E buckets.
Right. Emergency, that fund we just discussed. Essentials, rent, food, utilities, the must-haves, equity or investments, building future wealth. And enjoyment, everything else. The fun stuff.
And the key is prioritization.
Absolutely. Fund the first 3 E's, emergency, essentials, equity, before you go big on enjoyment. You need the foundation first.
Yeah.
The source suggests using tools, apps like Mint or Good Budget to help track and categorize. Makes it easier.
Okay. Cheat Code 10 is another one that pushes against cultural norms, especially the U.S. version. Forget the American dream unless you want American debt.
Oof.
Yeah, this one hits hard. It's a direct challenge to chasing status symbols, accumulating debt just to look successful. The key quote here is, wealth isn't about what you buy, it's about what you keep.
It's about accumulation, not spending.
Exactly. The source waited until 36 to buy their first home, and only when the mortgage was just 22% of their expenses. Very manageable.
And the warning is against huge debts early on, like big mortgages in your 20s or especially credit card debt.
Yeah, credit card debt is brutal. They mention average U.S. rates of 22–28%. That's just digging a hole. The insight is, don't let brands define you. Don't get caught in the debt trap just to keep up appearances. Build real wealth quietly.
So how do you avoid those traps? Cheat code 11. Get financially literate.
This is like essential self-defense. Understand the basics that rule your financial life. Compound interest, Einstein's eighth wonder, right? Understand how it works for you or against you with debt.
Credit scores too. Huge. Your credit score is like your financial reputation. It impacts so much. The source jokes it's more important than your dating profile. And taxes understand the basics to, as they put it, stay out of trouble.
And they recommend specific books.
Yeah, Psychology of Money, Algebra of Wealth. Not get-rich-quick stuff, but books focused on mindset, long-term principles. Financial literacy is framed as the best investment in yourself. It protects you.
Okay, and to make applying that literacy easier, cheat code 12. Automate every financial transaction.
This is all about making good habits effortless, especially if you find saving hard. The source wishes they'd done this back in their 20s.
So automating what specifically?
3 main things. 1, savings and investments. Set it up so the money moves before you even see it in your checking account. Pay yourself first.
Right.
2, bills. Automate utilities, loan payments, credit cards, subscriptions. Avoid late fees. Keep your credit score healthy. 3, even use tech to control spending, like setting limits or alerts.
Take willpower out of the equation as much as possible.
Exactly. Build your financial future on autopilot. Frees up mental space.
Okay, big shift now. Away from finance, towards mental habits. Cheat code 13, go analog.
Yeah, this is timely. The argument is that constant scrolling, doom scrolling, is actually hurting our ability to think deeply and critically.
Comparing reading habits now versus, say, the 1970s.
Right. Less deep engagement with complex text. They mention a 2017 study just 1 week off social media improved attention span and cognitive function.
Wow. So reading actual books, long articles,
Yeah.
it trains your brain.
Exactly. Enhances critical thinking, focus, ability to grapple with complex ideas, even vocabulary. In a world full of distractions, the source argues, focus and attention become a genuine superpower. Go analog sometimes.
A superpower, I like that. Okay, from mental focus to resilience. Cheat code 14 offers a different take on setbacks. Think of failure as your friend.
Not something to fear or avoid, but something to learn from. It reframes failure not as your enemy, your tormentor, but as your teacher.
And the observation that successful people often fail more.
Yeah, because they're trying more things, taking more risks. The source gets very personal here, talking about being fired 3 times.
3 times, wow.
Yeah. Fired on the spot, months unemployed each time. Said it was embarrassing, difficult. But the key was learning from it, analyzing what went wrong. That preparation was crucial for later success.
So the quote, failure is not our tormentor, it's our teacher, really lands. Extract the lesson.
Don't dwell on the pain, find the wisdom.
And related to overcoming fear, cheat code 15, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Success isn't usually a solo journey, right? It's a team effort. But that fear of rejection, asking for help or an opportunity and getting told no, the source calls that fear kryptonite.
Kryptonite, how so?
Because it can paralyze you, keep you stuck in mediocrity, you don't ask, you don't get.
Yep.
They use the Ed Sheeran example, constant rejection early on, record labels saying no, getting booed, but he kept asking, kept pushing.
Until he broke through.
Exactly. So the advice is, embrace rejection as part of the game. Ask for help. Find your tribe, people who support and challenge you. Like that Dumbledore quote.
Help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who ask for it.
Right, you gotta ask.
Okay, building on handling setbacks like being fired. Cheat code 16 is maybe tough, but freeing. Don't play the victim card.
This is based on the source's own approach, remarkably, staying friends with bosses who fired them.
Really? How does that even work?
They describe it as understanding that business decisions usually aren't personal, even if they feel that way. They stayed connected, even ended up being references for each other later, could laugh about it years down the line.
So the principle is taking it personally only hurts you.
Exactly. Playing the victim keeps you stuck in bitterness, focused on the past while the world moves on. The source basically says life isn't fair, don't expect it to be. Holding grudges wastes energy. Take responsibility for your reaction, move forward.
Empowering, in a tough love kind of way. Okay, now for what the source calls the most important decision. Cheat code 17. The most important decision you will make is who you go home to every day.
Yeah, they are absolutely emphatic about this. The single most critical choice, picking the wrong life partner. They describe it as potentially leading to emotional bankruptcy. It impacts everything else.
And they share their own story, dating a lot, then taking it really slow with their now wife.
Very slow. Lived together for 6 or 7 years before getting married in their 30s. Use that time to really learn how to communicate, handle conflict respectfully, build a deep friendship. Describes his wife as his best friend.
So it's about deep compatibility, not just initial attraction.
Precisely. They bring in that System 2 thinking idea. System 1 is fast, emotional, the infatuation stage. System 2 is slower, rational, thinking about long-term values, compatibility, how you handle tough times together.
And the danger is making that huge decision based only on System 1.
Yeah. You need System 2 engagement for a choice this big. It underpins your daily happiness, your resilience. Truly the most important decision.
Wow. Okay. Following that, cheat code 18 is also deeply personal. Forgive yourself for your past.
And the emphasis is that this forgiveness is for you, not necessarily for the people who hurt you, but for your own peace and ability to move forward.
The source shares some incredibly difficult personal history here.
Incredibly difficult. Abusive father, living in fear, being told they were worthless, believing it, running away, homelessness on Mumbai train stations, eventually becoming a monk. It's a profound journey.
And they acknowledge lots of people carry baggage from the past.
Right. Mentions daddy issues, even in famous figures, fictional and real, like Tony Stark, Luke Skywalker, Britney Spears. It's a common struggle.
The metaphor used is powerful. The past is a bag of bricks.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can choose to put it down. The core insight is forgiving yourself for letting that past define you for so long. It's essential work for healing and growth.
Okay. From internal healing to external impact. Cheat code 19. True value is about what you bring to others.
This shifts the focus completely, away from just personal gain, towards your positive impact on the people around you. The quote is, "Your success is the echo of the lives you improve."
That's beautiful. And that Native American saying.
So powerful, isn't it? You live only as long as the last person who remembers you dies.
Wow. Makes you think about legacy differently.
Totally. It's not about your job title or bank account in the end. It's about the impact you had, the kindness, the help, the love, the stories people tell about you long after you're gone. That's the real measure of value.
Contribution over accumulation. Okay, and finally, cheat code 20 ties it all together with a simple equation for happiness. Your happiness is connected to what you own and what you desire.
This came from a senior monk the source knew, a former physician. He boiled it down. HOD.
Happiness equals ownings divided by desires.
Simple, right. But think about it. If your ownings, what you have, increase relative to your desires, H goes up. If your desires grow faster than your ownings, H goes down.
And our desires can be kind of infinite, can't they? While ownings are always finite.
Exactly. So the key insight isn't necessarily just frantically trying to increase O. It's about managing B, managing your desires.
And the really mind-blowing part.
Yeah, the favorite part the source mentioned. Mathematically, as your desires D get closer and closer to zero, what happens to happiness?
H.
It approaches infinity. Infinity. It completely reframes the pursuit. Maybe happiness isn't about getting more, but wanting less. Internal contentment over external chasing.
Wow. Okay, we've covered a huge amount of those 20 cheat codes from this really unique life journey. Homelessness, monk, MIT, entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's quite the perspective. And like we said, these aren't necessarily universal laws carved in stone. They're principles from one person's intense experience. But they definitely offer powerful food for thought.
Absolutely. It forces you to look at success, finance, relationships, happiness through a different lens. Think about which ones felt challenging or insightful or maybe even actionable for you. They certainly push against a lot of common advice.
Yeah, this deep dive really gives you a lot to chew on, thinking about how to build a life that's not just successful on paper, but genuinely fulfilling.
And building on that very last point, that happiness equation, H-E-S-O-D, it's really provocative, isn't it? If happiness truly hinges on that ratio between what you have and what you want, what would actively managing your desires actually look like? Is it possible that wanting less could genuinely lead towards something like boundless happiness?
That's definitely something to mull over.